Hello, everyone, and welcome to our brand new Vampire the Masquerade Elder Chronicle, Echoes of Blood. This is Prologue 5, Childe of the Road. So let's meet our player, Ramos.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gilbert Ramos, aka Ramos the Nomad, on all of the social media. I am the CEO and founder of Rolling Nomads on all of the internet and interwebs and all that stuff. Tonight, I have the pleasure of being Saladino. No clan, just a boy.
As always, this is a Vampire the Masquerade actual play. We've gone over our safety and consent. Please check them in with yourselves, as your well-being is important to the two of us who are playing. All the content warnings for this game will be down in the description below. So if you are ready, Saladino, let's begin our vampire story. The year 1215, and you are about 15 years old. You're an orphan from the city of Pisa, who joined a caravan embarking on a trade expedition on the Silk Road. Said caravan rests just off the beaten path near the city of Aleppo. A ring of camel-hide tents form a loose circle around a central fire. The scent of roasted chickpeas and boiled goat lingers in the air, mingling with acrid smoke. The wind carries sand and the faint sound of evening prayers from a nearby village. Traders sit on colorful rugs, sipping watered wine or chewing dried dates. Guards laugh and argue over dice throws. Lanterns flicker like fireflies as the sun sinks into the dust. Giacomo, your employer, a hard-set Pisan with sun-darkened skin and thin patience, waves you over while gesturing at an empty crate. You counted them twice, yes, Saladino, the crates. Then where is the roll of damask silk we traded all that gold for? Do you think it grew legs and walked off into the desert? That one must return with us to Pisa, boy.
Do you understand? I'll find it right away, sir.
Good. Go ask the ones we picked up in Aleppo if they've touched our silk. If it's not there by morning, you will sleep without a tent or food.
Understood.
He sort of makes a noise at you as he continues inspecting his crates. How does it feel, Giacomo? Not Giacomo. You're not Giacomo. How does it feel, Saladino, to be with someone like Giacomo? Now, he's hard. He doesn't have a lot of patience for you, but it seems that he trusts you with important things like damask silk, something that you cannot get in Italy. The only way that these things come into your home country is via the silk trade, via people like you doing this. How does it feel working for someone like him?
I think it's an amazing opportunity. Yes, this is hard. Yes, this is a difficult man to work with, but ultimately this is an opportunity to better not only myself, but my station, my family name. This is the path forward. And while frustrating, this is the way, and this is incredible opportunity.
Is there anything in you that seeks the adventure of the road, or is that very low on your priorities?
I think with how young Saladino is, I think that absolutely there's always the allure of travel on the road and all of that. I think that he has to actively try to be an adult, be a businessman, and be thinking of the future rather than the now.
Is the future then your own caravan at some point?
I think so. I think that would be especially with the connections he himself is making through Giacomo. It's all valuable skills and people and hands that have been shaken that could lead to his own name being carried forward.
That certainly would boost your name, especially back in the city of Pisa. So as you walk towards the eastern edge of the camp, looking for the laborers Giacomo hired in the bazaar in Aleppo, you see Safia, the caravan's Persian guide, crouched near the fire, murmuring over bones laid out in a spiral. Her face is half lit by the flame, completely unreadable. And as you approach up behind her, now you're not necessarily talking to her, you don't think she's took your damask, but as you sort of walk behind her, she says, "You're searching for something." And she says it more as a statement than a question.
See, the damask silks. Giacomo
The
has.
bones don't concern themselves with silk. They see blood. They see a shadow on the moon.
I think maybe you have found a prophecy for the wrong person.
If you do not believe in omens, then you won't recognize when the warning comes. A beast has marked this caravan, and I do not mean the kind with 4 legs.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
She stands herself up, dusts some of the sand off of herself, and she doesn't touch you, but she sort of makes some sort of symbol in front of you that you don't recognize, and pulls her mask back up to cover her face. Be wary, Kuchak. Your shadow has grown longer since you left Pisa.
I wish your riddles were more clear.
My riddles are perfectly clear. It is you who doesn't understand them. It's not their fault.
Of that we can agree, and in that regard I am the same man of when I left Pisa. I did not understand them now, nor did I understand them then.
She just sort of chuckles underneath the linen that she has around her mouth and starts walking off. And that's when you overhear Giacomo confronting not one of the laborers from Aleppo that you're supposed to be looking for before he got distracted by Sophia, but rather a Sufi trader named Mahmoud. They're loudly arguing, and it quickly becomes clear that they are indeed arguing about that damask silk from the bazaar. And you hear Giacomo say, "You offloaded my camel, didn't you?" And Mahmoud replies, "I would not sully my hands with your Christian wares." What do you do here, Saladino? Do you take the side of your boss? Do you rally the laborers to search Mahmoud's wares? Or do you take Mahmoud's side, knowing that Giacomo really has no reason to single out Mahmoud, outside the fact that he simply hates any traders that don't come from the West? Or do you ignore this entirely, continue your own search for the missing damask?
It's not my place to speak up yet. When he has his own caravan, he'll do things differently. And he'll likely speak to the trader later in private and apologize, because in reality this is Saladino's fault. He doesn't have the immediate answer to what these silks might be, and if he did, then this trader wouldn't be getting accosted. So he'll continue his own search so that nothing untoward comes out of this argument.
Continue searching around, and that's when you discover that there is a crate that is open and the contents are gone. You believe this was the crate that had the silk inside of it. And you notice that the footprints around the sand around the crate lead off into the desert, far outside of your point of view. Far outside.
Shit. I have to make Giacomo aware. And I will likely be beat for it, accosted for it, but it's not the trader's fault, he has to know.
So, you are going to not lay the blame on Mahmoud. You're going to inform Giacomo the truth of what has happened. As unlikely as this truth is, that someone would walk into the desert with a heavy, large spool of damask silk.
Yes, it doesn't make sense, but the evidence is there, so...
No, it doesn't make sense, and yes, the evidence is there, and yes, Giacomo sees the evidence with his own eyes, but that doesn't stop the fact that he blames you for this. It doesn't matter what you say to him, it doesn't matter how you try and make him aware that it is a complete lunacy to walk out into the desert with the damask silk, that no one could carry it out, and you can't see any towns. Many of the guards who are here, who know this land very well, know that there are no towns so close in the direction of the footprints that anyone could be traveling to. But Giacomo doesn't really care about any of those things. He doesn't see that. He sees his missing silk. And of course you are, in fact, beaten in front of the troop here, including Sophia, who stares at you with softened eyes, but also eyes knowing eyes, knowing this would happen to you. And you do not get any food or additional water rations when you do uneasily go to sleep and you don't get your bedroll or anything like that. You're sleeping out in the elements. And as you lay there, hurt and hungry and thirsty and tired, the camp does eventually settle into uneasy silence, having watched such a display. Didn't make any of them comfortable. And as you close your eyes, Saladino, you hear a howl echo in the distance. Not a wolf. You know what those sound like. Not a jackal. You've been on the road long enough to have come across them, packs of them. Doesn't sound like that either. It's something lower, more guttural. Even the dice players who are still throwing dice at this late hour stop throwing. How does that make you feel, considering what Sophia said? That a beast has marked this caravan.
I think that Saladino would rise and grab whatever means of protection he has. He's already fucked up once today, and I don't think he could. I don't think he believes himself to be capable of dealing with another public beating, another denial of water rations or his bedroll, because he was fearful.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll grab whatever he can to defend himself and kind of walk to the edge of the caravan and peer out looking for whatever might be making the sound.
Stay there for a significant amount of time. Don't see anything. You don't hear anything else. And eventually you have no choice but to lay down and attempt to sleep, because you know that the caravan's not going to wait for you, whether you are tired and hungry and thirsty or not.
He'll do so uneasily and kind of as he passes the dice players. If there's anything that goes wrong, anything that approaches me in the night, please wake me.
They sort of look at each other and they sort of laugh and keep playing their game, and they're like, whatever you say, P-son. Yeah, we watch out for you. Of course.
Grazie.
The travel, Saladino, goes on for several more days without seeing a major trading hub. The desert is losing its charm on everyone, not just you. Gone is the excitement of the Aleppan outskirts. Now there is only a long, endless track of sun-bleached rock, dunes, and sand. Dust clings to every garment. The heat is oppressive by day. The cold is cruel by night. Your caravan has grown smaller. Some of the new hires that you picked up in Aleppo have turned back only 2 days into the forward journey. There are fewer fires at night. There are sightings from some of the guards who ride ahead of a man on the ridge, and some of the goats are missing. And the last well that you came across was dry. One evening, as you unpack dried figs near the supply cart, Sophia approaches you again. Her gaze is very distant, and her voice low. Her mask is still up. And she says, "Did you dream of teeth last night, Saladino?"
Morello, Sophia.
Is that Italian? P-son?
No. Are you asking me Morelos?
No. I think it's just a question.
No, I dreamt of no teeth. I did not sleep well last night.
No, we are all very thirsty. It's hard to sleep. I see red eyes in the dunes. Do you not see them? Something walks among us at night, too silent for a man, too tall for a dog.
See, there's stories of a man on the distance, always out of reach. I have not seen him myself, I don't think.
You will, she says, before walking away.
He'll stop himself from calling and asking foolish questions, I think.
How does Saladino feel? Now, you again, you're an orphan, so it's not like you have for the most unfortunate reasons, you don't have a strong bond with your family. The family name is all you have left of said family, but you were raised in a Catholic, Christian, Western culture. How does it feel to have a person, you're not sure what her religion is? You assume it's Muslim or Islam just because everyone else around you seems to be Islamic, but she doesn't seem to act like they do, so it could be something else. How does it feel hearing strange prophecies, something that would be considered heretical where you're from?
I think with the fact that he is an orphan plays into this a lot, is that he's not so biased, or maybe not as dismissive as most people. He still listens at the very least. He doesn't understand, but I don't think he thinks of it necessarily as heretical. Without the family upbringing, I don't think that he's reached the point of thinking of it as anathema.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's more open than most, and
Okay.
maybe that in itself is heretical.
Mm-hmm. So it would also be safe to say that you would hear from many of the members of the caravan, even Giacomo, who hired Sophia. He does not care to have a woman leading, but she is the most knowledgeable. She's been traveling the Silk Road since she was a child. So would it be safe to say that you don't feel any type of way that a woman is the one leading the caravan either?
No, I think that Saladino thinks that whoever is most capable should be leading. There's no he's an orphan. There's no family ingrained hierarchy or any of the aside from the sexism of the time, there's not really an ingrained sort of bias here. He thinks that it's the most capable that should be leading, as that, with that being the case, that would provide him in the future with more opportunity as well. So it's not entirely philanthropic. It's just a mindset he has to subscribe to, or he's going to be an orphan bastard from nowhere from forever.
That's fair enough. So the next day, the caravan passes the ruins of an old watchtower, half buried in the sand. 3 of the camels in the caravan sort of spook violently, and one almost breaks away entirely. And as you watch some of the, you have to sort of bring the caravan to a halt, and some of them have to chase after this camel. They're also, Sophia said that there was a well somewhere on the property, so they have someone going and checking to see if there's water there. One of the guards who stays behind whispers to you and says, there was a tarika here once, what you Christians call a monastic order one time here.
Aye, and what happened to them?
They say the Mongols killed them all, fed their hearts to their dogs.
They say many stories of the Mongols. They say that they will conquer the land if we are not careful.
Oh, everything they say about the Mongols is true, which is why we, you know the phrase, pay tribute.
I see.
This is why every post that we go to, we to get in, we trade gold, trade something to the posters at the city gates, because they need to give that tribute to the Mongols. As long as you pay tribute, they won't conquer your soul, Saladino.
Is that what they say?
It is what I know.
I would think that the Mongols would do more with water than a simple metal. No?
I think they have lived long enough, they can find their water, and I hear they drink the water of a horse. That's what I hear.
If everything they say is true, then they are a hearty people. More capable and more accepting than I. I don't think I could bring myself to do such things unless I was desperate.
Well, if you get in the clutches of the Mongols, you will do whatever they say, or they will, eat your heart. Feed it to their dogs, whatever it is they do. They are fearsome, Saladino, and they have gotten a taste for the finer things. And so the finer things are what we give them in order to not be conquered.
And thus we make refined barbarians, no?
You can't have a bleeding heart for everyone, not here on the road.
Not a bleeding heart, it's just it's an interesting mindset, don't you think? For a group that is so attuned to the land and so adept at survival to be carrying away gold and silks and precious things. What do you think they do with them?
You think it was a Mongol who took your silk?
I don't know who took my silk. I know that I did not misplace it.
If a Mongol wanted your silk, a Mongol would come and he would take it and he would be very loud about it. They have a great Khan, you know. Khanate, they call it. They have more men and more horses and more vigor than anyone on the road.
And it is gold that stops them. It is gold that keeps them from their great Khanate from conquering us all.
I don't really ask the questions of why and why not. If they want gold and it keeps them happy, I give them gold. It's that simple, Saladino. You spend too much time bleeding your heart out into the sand or opening your mind for all of the dust to get in, then you are going to be lost.
Perhaps, but I think it would be interesting to meet them, though. Don't you?
You should be careful what you find interesting. And it's at that point, one of the scouts comes back, and he's shouting because he says that there's water in the well here. And of course, that negates any conversation that you were having. Now, I have a question for you. Do you go right for the water? Now, it's been several days, and the amount of water you've had is not enough. Your lips are dry, your skin's dry, it's hard to think. Do you go right for the water with everyone else, or do you take any time to look at this watchtower?
I think that I think he has enough willpower to force that back a little bit and check things out first. Especially with everything that's been going on, and with Sophia's prophecies, and now just the conversation of the Mongols themselves. I think that he has enough willpower to be a little superstitious rather than desperate for hydration.
So you wait for everyone to go to the well, and and on top of all of those things, you know that you're not going to be first in line for that well, no, even if you got there first. So you sort of keep an eye out on it, see everyone getting drinks, pulling up the bucket, so forth. You see in the sand footprints that look extremely similar in depth and in size to the footprints you saw leading away from the crate of your damask silk. And they're leading up into the mountains, and just like before, they vanish from view.
A traveling thief, a stowaway, hiding in the distance. There's no way I could follow these footprints and still be... Foolish question. There's no way I could follow these and still be safe. There's no way I could follow these and be like...
Not in any feasible way that you could try to come up with being dehydrated for the last several days. But perhaps with water and some food and some rest, you could come up with a way to try and either track this person or keep a better eye out, as Sophia seems to be able to do.
Indeed. And I will also alert the guards of this as well, and inform them of my theory that we have somebody... It wouldn't make sense for them to, again, be traveling just on foot without a mount. I think that maybe they keep the mount off in the distance, and that's where the footprints lead to eventually. And we have somebody that's just kind of leeching off of us. I'll give this theory to the guards and to let them know. Inform me if you find it. I want to deal with them myself.
You inform all this to the guards. Of course, Giacomo overhears you as well, and you can tell instantly that none of them are taking you extremely seriously. Sophia, though, sort of just nods in your general direction. Again, it's not warm. It's just knowing, and is the only way I could describe it to you. And it's maybe the only way you could describe it to yourself. The look in her, because you can't see her facial features, the look in her eyes is knowing. She knows what you're trying to do, and she's not making a judgment of it either way. But Giacomo declares that the caravan will camp for the night in order to rest with some actual water in the vicinity. And whether it's coincidence, or because Sophia asked you if you had dreamt, you do in fact dream when you're done watering and tethering the camels and all those things. In your dream, you run across a moonlit path. Your feet are bare. Your breath is steaming and rising as you run. Behind you, you hear hoofbeats. And ahead of you is a tree made of bone. And from its branches hang silk scarfs and heads. You see a face in the darkness. You hear a voice that whispers, "I am not your hunter. I am your savior." And you wake with a start, sand in your mouth. You sit bolt upright in the darkness. But not everything is dark. The stars are bright, just bright enough to illuminate the ridge in the distance. And you see a figure standing there, body perfectly still, shoulders hunched.
I will take up a weapon and stand at the edge of the camp area and see if they make any move, or if there's any inclination that they know that they've been caught.
No. They just keep staring at you. You think they're staring at you anyway. It's sort of like a dark figure.
I will. I don't imagine I would imagine I'm traveling with a blade of some sort of means of.
You are not allowed to carry a sabred weapon like the guards are, but you do have a dagger.
I will take the dagger,
and that's not for you. That's just because of the rules of the Silk Road. I mean, not that there's a whole lot of law out here, but that's the general rule of operating within the caravan.
He'll take his dagger and step forward and see if there's. I think, as with many thieves, once confronted, they'll run. So he'll. There's a part of him that wants to try to be sneaky about this to catch the person, but also another part of him that wants to be bold and brash and sort of brave about this, so that maybe they could run, so his own superstitions and everything, the fear doesn't overtake him. So he'll walk silently without sort of hiding. He's stuck in the middle here.
How close do you get?
I think that he would walk to where the light from the campfires or the embers and everything would not reach him, and if the creature or this being has not moved and has not made any effort to hide its presence, then he'll call out and try to he thinks he's being brave, but he's giving into superstition and trying to scare him off.
What do you say?
Thief, lurking in the night, have you come to return my silks?
He doesn't answer you. You hear Giacomo and some of the guards calling to you from the caravan. Do you turn around at any point to hear them? Or to acknowledge them, I should say.
This man has not moved. This man has not made any.
No.
No, he's not going to turn his back on this person. He'll take a few more steps forward and see if there's any. If they give at any point.
When you take a few more steps forward, you realize that the figure that you were talking to is a gnarled tree.
There's a sense of relief. Definitely.
The relief is overtaken sharply when you look down and see large footprints leading off into the desert.
The same footprints.
They look to be. You're not an expert in footprints, but they look to be of the same depth and width and length.
Oh, find you. I will find you. I'll return to Giacomo.
For another beating, obviously, for leading the caravan. But eventually, the caravan does arrive in Nishapur, a city in modern-day Iran. Ancient Zoroastrian ruins hide beneath Islamic mosaics. The bazaar swells with color and noise, silk banners, clinking jewelry, perfume. This is the first proper city in weeks, Saladino, since Aleppo. The camels are unloaded, deals are being struck. Just like the guard said about getting entry into the city, caravan hands vanish into alleys and re-emerge drunk or robbed or sometimes not at all. Gold spills besides blood in a place like this, and shopkeepers cry out saffron from Samarkand, spices from Aden, lapis from Badakhshan. You're carrying a list from Giacomo. He's instructed you to purchase more resin, salt, and dyed thread, but something else, something you're supposed to sell in Medina when you finally make the long journey back to Pisa. Something Giacomo said is so valuable, you can only purchase it when God's sun has disappeared. Sun, S-U-N. So after buying the more mundane things, the salt and the resin and the dye and stuff, and leaving them with even more guards, Giacomo's hired even more guards, you leave them, there's caravans grown in size. When night has fallen, you find yourself in a strange little shop of oddities, as instructed you to go to. A man in a hood sits behind a table of teeth bones, half-burnt books, and silk folded like skin. At least that's what it looks like to you as you stand there. And the man speaks to you. He never removes his hood. You don't see his face. And he says, "You look hungry, child. You'll find no sustenance for the body in here."
And what will I find in here?
I doubt anything that you can afford unless you have a very rich benefactor.
I am afraid my benefactor is not with me as of late.
Then I can't imagine what you have to do in my shop. I'm sure if you run along the streets, you're a very handsome boy. Someone will take you up on an offer, and then you'll have enough money to buy some food.
No, I'm here trading. My caravan.
Trading for what?
For profit, ultimately.
Whose caravan? I know them all.
My benefactor is named Giacomo.
You could have just said so. The man from Pisa.
See.
Yes, the deal has already been struck and the gold has already been spent by me. And he reaches under his table and he places something down in front of you. And it is a necklace. You've never seen anything quite like this before. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it resembles a lot of the mosaics you saw as you were entering into the city. The mosaics that are covered up now with Islamic symbolism, but you can see it behind, sort of faded behind what has been rebuilt over it. And you've spoken enough with the people who live here that at one time, much like you would hear stories as a child that at one time the land that you are from worshipped gods of ancient Rome. At one time, the people of Iran worshipped their own variety of gods, as opposed to their one god they worship now, the majority, Allah. And it's the symbol you recognize. It is a man with wings. And the wings seem to be outstretched, and the clasps of the necklace come up where the wings are. It looks very delicate. It looks maybe something for a woman, which you've never known Giacomo to have any inclination to any woman ever. But, you know, maybe he has a daughter or he has a wife back home that he's just never talked about, which would be weird, but it's possible. But it's very delicate and it's pure gold. And he sort of slides it over to you. You remind Giacomo that it's supposed to go to Medina. That is the deal that was struck.
See, I will pass this along. This is what he has bargained for. This is it.
He is a broker. He is brokering a deal between me and someone else. The broker is in Medina. Saudi Arabia, yes? Have you been?
No, this will be my first time.
Oh, you will like it very much.
You think so?
I know so. There's nothing not to like about Saudi Arabia.
And this other person, what is their name? So I may be sure that we give it to the right person.
You don't need to know their name. They will find you. And he sort of does this gesture, and then does this to you. They see with more than eyes.
I see. Well, it's a pleasure doing business with you. I look forward to seeing you in the future.
As you say that, he reaches out and grabs your wrist suddenly. It's violent and quick, and he pulls you down onto the table. And you see his face for the first time. He looks like a corpse. You're not sure if he has leprosy. You think maybe. And his eyes are pinprick whites in his face. And as quickly as he grabs you, pulls you down, he then lets you go and pushes you away, almost standing you back upright with a strength that no man with leprosy should have. And he says, "You walk between nations, but you will never find your home. Saladino."
I think he'll kind of rub his wrist. I am an orphan, and I aim to be to have my own caravan. The world is my home, my friend.
He doesn't look at you or speak to you again. And the encounter is frightening, Saladino. It was almost as if the air in that little shop just been sucked away, and you're struggling to breathe just a little bit. So instead of heading back out into the bazaar where there's, lots of people and not feeling like there's enough air, you climb a nearby sandstone ladder to the flat rooftop of this. Well, I should have mentioned, Nishapur is a caravanserai, meaning it is a city literally built for caravans, right? It's built for the trading road. It was a city at one time, and obviously from all of the mosaics and the leftover ruins of what the city was, and has been rebuilt, right? So you climb to the top of the flat rooftop here, and below, Nishapur pulses with life, and the air feels very fresh. So you take several big breaths. And how does it feel, Saladino, to be continuously receiving prophecies from strangers about your future?
I think with Sophia it's easier because he at least knows her on some level. So what he said in the vicinity of this man, it wasn't for him. It was trying to make himself, to try to bolster himself. Especially this is from a complete stranger. This is a lot more unsettling.
As you're standing there, Saladino, and you're trying to come to some sort of understanding of what on earth is going on. If easier from Sophia, but the strange man's also giving you prophecies and what on earth that's going to mean for you. You hear a voice up here on the rooftop of the caravanserai, and he says, "You have soft feet. You barely leave mark in dust." And you know that voice. It was the voice in your dream. You turn to see a man sitting cross-legged at the rooftop's edge. His arms are bare, his hair is tied in a braid, and a primal part of you knows this is the man you saw on the ridge that night, whether it turned out to be a tree or not.
I think he will grip his dagger, not removing it just yet, but just kind of clutching the pommel, and turn to him and say, "And you carry a heavy footstep. You come to return my silks."
No. I followed many who walk with the caravans. You are the first I speak to.
And to what do I owe this pleasure?
I don't know. You are not like them.
So many people are telling me what I am like these days. Many people are telling me who I am and what my future holds. You come to give me a fortune, stranger.
I suppose. Saladino will not live much longer. But you will live forever. And then impossibly he jumps from the rooftop. And when you look over the edge, he's gone.
I think Saladino, in the moment that he said Saladino will not live for much longer, has began to pull his dagger, and at this point has it out and has gone over to the edge and looking for the man, just for any sign of him.
No, there's no sign of him. And you don't see him again on this particular journey, not when you finally head into what you would call at this time period the Orient, and not when you make your way back to Pisa, when you stop in Medina through Saudi Arabia, which is indeed a beautiful place, very religious, more religious than some of the other places you've been to, and you hand off that necklace to a man at night, just like the other man that you met, who you could only describe as someone who has spent too much time indulging in hashish. He was completely nonsensical to you, but you gave him the necklace. It was what you're supposed to do, and you made a pretty good cut from that. Giacomo was very generous. It was almost as if he himself did not want to meet this person at night. It was almost as if Giacomo never wanted to go anywhere at night. But that's neither here nor there. 4 years have passed from these events, Saladino. You've been on many trips now along the Silk Road at this point, and you're thinking about starting your own caravan, right? And this long ordeal with the mysterious man in your dreams has begun to fade away from your memory. You're 19 now. You're still with Giacomo. You think this is going to be your last time with him. I can't say year because these trips can last longer than a year, but this might be your last trip with Giacomo until you begin your own. You've saved up enough money. You think you've made the right connections. You have the right reputation that it might be time. And right now, Giacomo's caravan is settled in a wooded ravine near the city of Herat in modern-day Afghanistan. It's close to midnight. The fires are burning low, and you hear something, Saladino, in the twilight space of being asleep and being awake. A distant clatter, something like metal against rock, a short yelp that's immediately silenced, and then nothing. And then all at once, shouts, hoofbeats, the sudden crackle of large flames. The camp is under attack. 15 bandits, desperate deserters and desert scavengers, armed with blades, bows, and their faces are completely wrapped. 2 guards go down in the first minute, both from arrows to the chest. The path to the horses and the camels is clear for now, or you could grab down one of the swords from the dead guards and defend the caravan. What is your decision in this very rapid, you're not even awake yet moment of your caravan being attacked? And you are outnumbered. As I said, you can see just from opening your eyes, you can see there's 10 to 15 bandits here.
He will grab a fallen guard's sword.
And you're going to attempt to defend the caravan as opposed to flee.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, these men are on horseback. Do you attempt to get on a horse as opposed to doing it from the ground?
Yes, absolutely. It's the tactical move.
Sure. So you get up on horseback, and you're not necessarily a skilled fighter, so I'm going to ask you to take me 1d10 and let me know what you roll. So I want to see how well you do before something happens.
4.
4. All right, so that's less than average, and you don't do that well. You maybe slice at some of these men, but it's dark, it's loud, you're outnumbered, and you're not a fighter. Not yet, anyway. And it doesn't take long for you to be knocked from your horse. And as you fall from your horse, a cart crashes down right on top of you, pinning your leg briefly beneath it. And it takes an extended amount of time to drag yourself free. While you are trying to get out from the cart, let me into Saladino's mind for a minute. What is he thinking? He was asleep. He woke up. Chaos, tried to fight, fell, and is now trapped under a cart that could at any moment be set on fire. Give me a glimpse into Saladino's mind right now.
Just grit and desperation. I think that there's maybe a part of him that is remembering Sophia's words, and especially the man he met who said that he the Saladino would not live long. And he's that grit is just gritting teeth and just pulling forward, pulling on every bit of strength he can to rise and have them be wrong.
Well, as you desperately drag yourself free from this cart, and you stand up and you look around at your caravan, at the encampment that you had here, you realize you're alone. You don't see any of the guards. You don't see any of the attackers, no familiar faces. You just see and hear the sound of the dying fire directly behind you that was lit for the entire camp.
Running off of adrenaline, he's going to run through and try to find somebody. Okay. Just anybody.
You aren't thinking straight. You are scared. You're running on, as I said, adrenaline. You stumble into the tree line here. As I said, you're sort of parked in a ravine. You're sort of stopped in a ravine here. You stumble sort of into the tree line because you would assume that people would run to escape their attackers. Harder to catch them right in the tree line. And as you run through there, you run along sort of a narrow path. You get some light from the moonlight filtering through the branches. You're trying to, I think, follow maybe a noise of battle or like listen out for a noise of battle, if that makes sense to you. But you don't hear it. So you think maybe you're going the wrong way. You try and double back, but you're a little bit lost. You're not familiar with this particular ravine that you're staying in. This is the first time that you encamped here. And so you sort of continue to stumble around until you come to a clearing. And when you come to this clearing, you see him. He's just standing there in this clearing, barefoot, standing on some rocks. He's wearing a cloak this time. He's not bare-chested like the first time you saw him on the roof of the caravanserai in Nashpur. His eyes reflect the moons like a wolf's, and he's just watching you. You don't know his name. He never told you it, though he has spoken to you all those years ago.
What did you do? Were these your men?
He looks at you, and that gaze holds weight. He doesn't answer you, but he does something else. He steps aside and indicates where you should go, as if he is indicating or opening a path for you. He makes no move to harm you or follow you. He doesn't raise a weapon towards you, just sort of in the direction. But it seems like he's inviting you to escape.
Where is the rest of my caravan? He'll step forward.
Like a stoned statue, he just keeps pointing in that direction.
If this was your doing, I will hunt you to the ends of the earth. You may as well kill me now, because I will be your doom.
Your words don't sway him to speak.
I will move past him, and I think Saladino, having freed himself, would not have was more animalistic. The fight or flight. He would not have grabbed a sword, so he has no means of protection. So he's gonna move past him, just very aware that he's exposed.
Mm-hmm. So you move in the direction that he indicated. You try and stay on the path. Do you ever look back to see if he's there?
Of course.
From the moment you take your eyes off of him and then move to look back, he's gone. He's vanished. But as you stay on the path, eventually you do come across what's left of the caravan. Most of the merchants and the guards are dead. Not all, but most. Giacomo is wounded, but alive. And to the left of these survivors and what goods have survived, you see a pile of about 10 to 15 bodies. And do you examine them?
Yes.
They seem to all be these bandits. How closely do you examine them?
Incredibly closely. He's trying to identify who they might be, where they might have come from, if these are the Mongols that everyone talks about, or if these are just...
You don't think so. You don't think so. You think that they are... You've heard of this long enough, several years on the Silk Road, that sometimes, people get booted out of caravans. Sometimes caravans just get vandalized. And you notice that all of them have died from lacerations to the neck.
I'll go check on Giacomo first, and then the rest of the caravan, sort of taking stock and taking a head count of who has survived.
Very few people. And several days after the raid, the caravan it becomes very clear that the caravan cannot continue on to their destinations along the Silk Road, that they're going to need to attempt to make a way home. Giacomo is wounded and feverish, but he doesn't want to leave yet. Instead, he gives you the go-ahead to go to the city of Shiraz with a ledger by yourself. It's extremely dangerous to ask you to do this, but he seems desperate. And he promises to fund your own caravan should you complete this. Should you collect the debts on his ledger, rather.
I think that's probably what wins Saladino over. There's a lot of concern for everybody here, and for despite the beatings, it's not uncommon for this time, so doesn't hold it really against Giacomo. So there's concern for Giacomo as well, but then curing this, this is what'll push him over and to whatever he needs, whatever he requests.
With Giacomo's ledger in your hand, again, within these cities, there are people who account for debts when trades have been made, but nothing has been collected. But instead, let's call it the modern day IOU, right? And these are collected, they're stamped, and if you don't adhere to these, then you're in super big trouble in these cities. You have the ledger, so you have the proof, and you're there to collect Giacomo's debts, and Giacomo promises that from the debt money, he will fund your own caravan. So, take the path towards the city of Shiraz in Afghanistan. The path is obviously cruel, it's sun-scorched, you're alone, you have a single horse, it's bone freezing at night, you have very few provisions, and on the third evening, you find shelter in a jagged fissure that sort of opens into a wide cavern inside the Zagros mountain range. And as you go in there trying to find somewhere to lay down, you see stalactites that sort of weep down those mineral tears into black pools, and the wind from outside sort of howls through the opening. But something is waiting inside as you descend into the cavern, Saladino. The torch you have sputters, the air smells strange, animalistic, and then you see him, again, sitting cross-legged in the dark, his eyes open, staring right at you. And this time, he speaks to you like he did all those years ago. You are far from home, Saladino, and the road you've walked no longer leads to Shiraz, or anywhere else mortals tread.
Then what are you?
What am I? I am you, or you are me, or you soon will be, like me.
Listen to stories along the road, and I hear stories of things called jinn.
I am no genie. I'm not here to grant you 3 wishes. I'm here to grant you 1 wish. Your soul is feral and forgotten, like mine. Your blood calls to me, like mine calls to you. And he stands up, and his presence sort of fills the cavern. I will not ask if you accept my gift, because this is no choice. This is instinct. And he sort of steps closer and juts a hand out to your chest. This is truth. This is end and beginning.
No.
When you say no, he pulls you close, violently, with impossible strength. His hands are cold. You watch his mouth open. Fangs. They pierce your throat. Your heartbeat explodes in your ears. The torch falls from your hand. Your vision fades and the world spins into shadow. Your blood pours out of you in hot, rhythmic pulses until you are dead. There is nothing. Until there is. Until something new enters. A trickle first, and then a flood. It burns, it sears, you scream, or you think you do. Then darkness. Eventually, though, you awake in the same cavern. Pool of moonlight gleams through a crack in the rock above. You are cold. Not from fear, but because you're dead. You know it, somehow. You touch your chest, no heartbeat, just hunger. The man, whose name you still do not know, is here, and he says, "It is time, Karak. Leave Saladino behind in the cave. You will run with me. Run with the wind until you smell blood, and then we will feast."
What did you do to me?
He smiles, and he starts running.
I think he'll watch him go for a second. And remember the start of the journey and how excited he was. And I think that he knows without following him there will be no answers, so he'll release his hair and run.
We move our scene to a crude yurt of hide and felt, staked among the whispering grasses of the steppes under a slate-gray moon. Wolves howl in the far distance. The air smells of blood, horse sweat, and smoked meat. The flickering fire inside the yurt casts monstrous shadows, and you kneel in silence, Karak, the beast snarling just beneath your skin. Across from you, your sire, Ajav, crouches, immobile, eyes gleaming amber in the firelight, a half-dead deer in front of you. "Feed," he says to you in the Mongol tongue.
And I will do so, without question.
So you're going to feed on the deer.
Yeah.
Soon as you open your fangs and begin to feed on the deer, Ajav is on you, faster than you can see, and is beating on you viciously, ferociously, and tosses you to the other side of the yurt, away from the deer. Angrily, he turns to you and says, "You stink of your old god and guilt. There is no church here, no cross. If you will not hunt according to your nature, you will be buried here."
I will live forever. The grave you count as holds a different name.
"If you will not hunt the mortals, I will eat you."
You're welcome to try.
You ready? And he sort of lowers himself into a position to fight.
Bend at the knees and ready myself for impact. I'll let him come to me first.
Okay. You may open your sheet, and you make me a stamina and resolve roll, please.
Shit. Okay. Well, easy enough. 3 successes.
3?
Mm.
Okay, he rolled 11. So you brace yourself for impact, but you can't. You try and be immovable, but he is stronger, faster, more attuned to his bestial nature, and again he is on top of you and beating you down severely. He stands above you, your own vitae dripping from his fists and nails back down onto your body. "Remember this lesson, Karak. The beast does not ask what prey deserves. Decide if you are beast or if you are prey." And you hear him exit out of the yurt while you lay there, your bones broken, your body in shambles. You know it's going to take time for you to heal, and you will need to feed. Do you crawl over to the deer, or do you lay there for a moment?
I think I lay there for a moment. I just remember this feeling.
What is the feeling?
Eternity was supposed to be different. The beatings were supposed to stop. After everything changed. Why did this remain the same? Is this just how it's always going to be?
Does it cross your mind then, Karak? Did he choose you for your ability to take a beating and still stand back up?
I think that it's this thought that gets him to rise, to go feed, and I think he drinks deeply, and there's probably more biting that doesn't need to happen that happens. Probably leaves a gaping hole in this creature.
There's no time for you to really heal in the yurt the way you would want to, because over the following nights, a job drags you across snow-packed ridges, forces you to hunt the mortals of the steppes. He forces you to abandon your clothes, sleep in the earth, and stalk soldiers along the trade roads. How much resistance do you think you put up? Do you think you resist him at every turn, or do you think eventually you begin to adhere to his ways?
I think as long as he can resist, he's going to. There's still clinging to that little bit of his old life. The people, he remembers being them. He remembers the fear. He remembers the blindness of peering into the night, hoping that nothing is peering back.
At one point, after a particularly brutal night of tracking bandits, where you did succumb to your beast, drink your fill, and make sure that these men, whoever they were never going home to their mothers or their families or their children. You sneak into a hidden corner of the den that you happen to be staying in this night. A job is somewhere, not here, not yet, and you unroll your leather pouch that you still have from when you were known as Saladino. And inside the pouch you have a smooth shell from the Adriatic, a worn coin bearing the symbol of the cross, and a tiny page of parchment with Latin script. And if you hold the shell to your ear and close your eyes, you can still hear the waves of the sea.
Just hold that close. Try to hold the sound close for as long as you can.
You hold it to your ear as long as you can, you listen as long as you can, and you don't know how much time passes, but enough time passes that a Jav has returned. And he says, what do you remember when you hold these things in your hands?
I remember the sea.
You remember chains.
I don't need to remember chains. They're all around me.
I have given you freedom. I have taught you survival. Those things you hold, they are the lies that the dead tell themselves. The beast has no past, only teeth and hunger.
I am no beast.
Yes, you are. And if you do no longer wish to be a beast, the sunrise comes every day, Karak.
What you have made me is lesser.
I have made you more than you ever would have been, walking the sands of the Silk Road. Saladino died. You are Karak. These are his things, not yours.
Am I not free to mourn him?
Mourning is for the living. The beast does not mourn.
Do you carry nothing of what you were? No trinket, no memory.
There was no were. You're not understanding. Nowhere, no past. The beast is now. The past is dead. You must learn this lesson, Karak, or I will have to kill you.
Every night. You try.
No, you have never seen me try.
You're right. I've seen you fail. Night after night after night.
Still you cling to these beliefs. You have never seen me try. You have never seen me fail. I do or I do not. And one night I will.
And show me. And I'm gonna lunge for him.
Alright, make me strengthen a roll.
11. Wait. Yes, 11.
Okay, so it's 11 to 11. So you lock into each other, because I, for some reason, rolled 11 again. You lock into each other. You're sort of caught here in this fight. Karak, John says to you, things will be easier when you begin to listen and not fight. When you fight what the beast tells you to fight. It is not me. It is them.
A beast has no rhyme or reason. A beast just fights. Isn't this what you wanted? Isn't this what you wanted? You wanted strength. You wanted fangs. You wanted teeth and claws. Here I am.
Good. Then fight. One more.
9.
Stop it. 9 to 9. Okay.
Son of a bitch.
So you're still locked in this together. One more. Last one. And then something will happen. I'll make the difficulty 9. Because neither of you is ceding ground. Neither of you is giving in. Oh, this time I rolled not great.
2.
2!
Did you fuck Jesus Christ?
I will show you. I am so mad at you. 2 of you, neither of you cede ground, neither of you. But you can tell that Ajab is concerned that you are as strong or as determined as he is. And eventually he breaks away from you. If you leave me, Karak, I will hunt you to the ends of the earth. And I will not be alone.
Was it loneliness that made you kill him? Made you take Saladino's life? Is that what we are? Lonely animals.
Yes. And he leaves.
I think Karak will just ponder that for a moment. That it wasn't his ability to take a beating or his strength or any real... It wasn't really him or anything that he had possessed. It was just that he was lonely.
We move to roughly 30 years of this unlife, Karak. You're at the foothills of the Altai Mountains. A burned-out yurt smolders nearby. The scent of death is fresh in the air. Your hands and your mouth are blood-stained. Jav, as he so often has, whipped you up into frenzy, and the two of you slaughtered these unarmed villages and drank your fill. Jav is pleased with you, finally doing what he wants. How do you feel?
I think 30 years of nightly abuse and nightly sort of programming. Karak hasn't forgotten Saladino's name, but he remembers him as a stranger, as a passerby. I think that he's stopped resisting when it comes to feeding or killing people. And he likes to think of himself still as just a better beast. But he doesn't hate Ajad anymore. He just understands that that's higher on the food chain.
Even though you have submitted to his will, it appears to never be enough for Ajab. And as he comes to where you're standing, watching the village burn to the ground, he stands beside you, and without looking at you, he says, I could tell you hesitated. Again.
I did not.
You did.
I did not.
I heard you say to the one, run faster. I heard it.
It was for sport, nothing more.
And yet you did not kill him. I did.
You were faster than I.
He picks something up off of the ground. It is a blood-soaked cloak. He shoves it into your arms, and you can tell that it is the garment of a European traveler. This is what he was wearing. Still, you cling to the old things. I know you still keep that cross in your pouch. Little book of scribblings. You think I don't notice?
The memories are important.
You are supposed to be what I made you.
And I am. I've forgotten what it is to be him.
You see him bend down and sigh. The night has finally come, Karak.
What do you want from me?
He lunges at you, his feral claws out, and this time he lunges at your throat. As he told you all those nights ago, he said things would be different. He said that he never actually tried to kill you, and now you think he might be right. Dexterity and athletics, please, to duck out of the way.
3.
Jumps on you, holds you down to the ground, straddling your chest, and begins raking at you with his claws and his fangs. Bites deeply into your face, but he doesn't hold it there. The bliss only lasts for a moment as he is beginning to tear you apart, literally here in the sand. Your blood, your vitae, is spilling everywhere. Your skin is being thrown here and there among the corpses of this burning village. What would you like to do?
I'm going to bite into him. And I'm going to drink in his strength.
Make me a strength and brawl.
9.
10 successes as you
Son of
lean
a
up
bitch.
to... I can show you. As he leans up to bite up into you, he jumps off of your chest. He's covered in your blood. Your chest and your stomach and your throat is exposed open from his attack. And he says, "You were meant to be my hound. You were meant to be my reflection."
Your reflection. Your hound. Face it, Ajav. You made something you can't contain, something you can't control. In this way, you were successful beyond your fucking understanding. So here I am. You're better.
No. You are prey.
From where I stand, I feel no fear. I will lunge again.
You'll lunge. You'll lunge. Strength and athletics.
6.
Does not beat his aim. So you lunge wide. He steps out of the way. He's fast. He's older than you. He's stronger than you. And he doesn't attack you again. Doesn't try to kill you. He says, "This is not how I hunt my prey." And he turns away from you in disgust. And as he did so many years ago when you were a mortal boy traveling in the caravan, he disappears into the hills.
I think for a time, Karak is going to try to find him, try to scent him out, and run into the night. Always at his heels or someplace he had just been. Tonight he just screams into the night, a mix of a howl and a yell.
You chase him through snow, wind, blood-scented woods. You never catch him.
I refuse to be hunted. The best way to make sure I'm never his prey is to always be on his heels.
Ajav is not someone who tends to leave the steppes. However, you start to lose his scent after a while. You are not sure why. But for the first time, you feel completely alone. You move from cave to cave, from sanctuary to sanctuary as you travel in and out and around the steps and can't pick up a job scent anymore. At one point, you take a misstep in one of these caves and your pouch spills out, and what spills out is a small coin with the cross, the shell, and the Latin parchment, the bit of Latin parchment that you have. It spills out onto the rocks.
I think he wonders why he's keeping these. I don't know why they don't help. They don't help with the hunt. They don't help with wondering if his job is going to be over his shoulder. They don't smell like him. They don't smell like a job.
They don't, but they smell like who you got them from. Your mother. And you put the shell up to your ear and you still hear the sea that you haven't seen in decades. That you thought, as long as a job was here, you would never see again. But he's not here, is he, Karak?
Oh. Keep the shell to his ear. And just close his eyes. And try to remember the last time he was there. The last time he was in the sun, watching the waves.
You can remember. It's dim, but it's there. You smell the shell, and although for some reason you have lost a job scent, for reasons that you do not know, you smell the shell, you could track the scent back to the sea. You know you could.
Even animals concern themselves with more than hunting. So he will return to the sea.
Begin following the scent of the shell.
I do.
Your flight across the steppes takes longer than you could have anticipated. You need to hunt and feed and travel. Of course, always look behind you to see if a job is there. He's not. But you know there are other Mongol-aligned canines that you have met before that a job has crossed paths with that are allies of his of some kind. So you also have to look out for them, because they might look at you as a traitor. If a job is gone, they might look at you as the person responsible. There's no way to know. In the southern Balkans, you stalk a caravan that is halted near a collapsed shrine. Your fangs itch, your beast whispers to you to drink every last one of them. Of course, you're in control, aren't you, Karak?
Every night since he left.
A woman in the caravan, a rarity among traders, says, "Something smells strange." And a priest who is also in the caravan says, "Smells like rot in the air." And the man who's actually leading the caravan speaks your language. And he says, "The Black Forests were safer than this cursed road." And suddenly, a shriek splits the dusk. Creatures of flesh and stone ambush the caravan and begin drinking deep of their heart's blood. You've never seen anything like this. They're like you. They have fangs, but they have wings, and their skin is made of stone. And they drink blood, and they are feasting, killing these mortals quickly. You have a choice here, Karak. You can hide your nature, let them die. Maybe feed on what's left. Or you can reveal yourself, risk exposure, and try and save them.
I've never hunted this animal before.
No.
I won't give up the chance to do so now.
Alright, let's do strength and brawl.
11.
You have willpower? Can you spend willpower for me?
I'm gonna do that.
So I can
Let's
do,
do
so you
that.
can do something cool, for fuck's sake?
So I can do something cool. Yeah.
So you can kind of be a badass
Okay.
for 1 minute, please?
I roll like shit, honey, always. 13.
13, thank God. Okay. So, They're busy feasting. One of them is feasting on the woman, the other one's feasting on the priest, and the caravan leader, he's being held by the one that's feeding on the priest, so he can't go anywhere, and he's just screaming and yelling. So you come up with your feral claws, and you attack the arm of this creature that is holding on to the Italian man. His name is Benito, but I haven't told you that. And you slice directly through this stone arm, and it's hard. Obviously, it's stone, but it's not only stone. It is hardened, but it is not complete stone. There is blood under here. There is vitae under here. You can smell it in the air. You can smell it on your hands when you cut this creature's arm off. It screams, it yells. If you would like to attempt to intimidate it to flee, I will allow it, or would you like to simply flee with the Italian man? It's entirely up to you. And leave the other two to their fate.
I think that there's probably the hardest thing that Croc had to let go of was the some folks might call it chivalry, some folks might call it misogyny, whatever it is. He doesn't want this woman to die here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because she's a rarity amongst the this caravan.
Sure.
So he'll move to her next.
Okay. Roll me another strength and brawl. You don't have any surprise here, so the difficulty is going to be 8. And they are fully aware, and there's 2 of them.
8.
Okay. I was about to lose my mind. I was like, wait, did I roll 8 or 7? Okay.
You're so fucking annoyed with me.
The creature whose arm you cut off is screaming at the moment. And in the moment that you cut off his arm, he has ripped open the neck of this priest. This priest is not going to make it. He is bleeding out quickly and will expire. But you go after the other one to save the woman. You, with only a margin of 1, however, you attack him. You pull it off of her as much as you can, but the same thing with the priest. The fangs sort of are stuck in there, and he just ends up ripping her entire throat out. So now you have 2 pissed off creatures staring down at you. What's your final decision before something happens?
Nope, there's nothing I can do.
There's plenty you can do. Turn yourself into a bat or something. Fly away. Bat? Sorry.
If I could, rather than be a bat, use lurking mists.
Yes.
Become mist.
Yes, you like to become mist. Do it fast. You expend the blood to do it, and you become mist. And the creatures attempt to attack you. They are confused. They don't understand what's going on, but they try and claw through you. They try and attack you, but they can't because you are incorporeal at the moment. And then you see in their eyes something sort of flash, and the 2 of them take to the air as if you were never here at all, and fly off.
I will return to my physical form.
Mm-hmm.
And just track the direction in which they fly.
Can't see above the trees as you're in a wooded area. You can watch them for a distance, but you have their blood all over you. You can track at least one of them.
I'll look at the Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to live?
Yes, he hasn't been harmed at all, outside of psychologically.
Does he see me?
He saw what you did, he saw you turn to mist, and he saw you return to corporeal form, yes. He's, heading into stages of catatonia at the moment.
Well, good. I have no words for him then. I will leave, I will run, I will track these creatures.
Okay. Hopefully he will snap out of it and be grateful that someone saved his life. Or maybe he won't. I am sure mental health in the 13th century is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Fuck them.
Honestly, fuck them. So, you lick at the blood that's on your arm just to confirm that they are indeed Cainites like yourself, and they are. Cainites, whatever they are. But it's not, maybe Ajav was just so bad that he never mentioned stony, winged creatures. Maybe he was just so bad at his job of being a sire that he just never mentioned it. And none of the other Mongol Cainites that you met ever mentioned it either. Maybe they're just more common in Europe and you just never knew. That's a possibility. But either way, you should maybe find out. So you track the blood, and eventually you go somewhere that you have always wanted to go, or at least Saladino always wanted to go. Maybe the grandest city in Europe. It was a dream of yours to someday, after years of traveling the Silk Road and opening your own caravan and earning enough wealth and riches to come to a city like this and purchase a villa and live the life of luxury that you feel like you were deserved. You find yourself at the gates of Constantinople, and that is where we are going to end Prologue 5, Childe of the Road, for this evening.